Okay, so
I'll go back to.
this is Murders at Tealwoods Manor. This is a game I've been working on most of last month, some of this month. Went
Mhm.
live a week ago, a week and a half ago. And it's got a board game that I'm showing off at PAX. So it's like a story companion to a board game.
All right. All right. Well, we'll just get started.
Yeah.
Did that just? It did. There we go. All right.
Here we go.
Select your character. Captain Hughes.
So this is the tutorial.
Oh,
You're not literally selecting a character right now.
okay. Wager on the characters that will survive. Score points for how many you get correct. Chase the perfect game at 12 points. Choose who you're going to spend time with by navigating the mansion's map. Choosing a room with a person in it means you'll spend time with them. Choose an empty room, and who knows what will show up. Successfully guess the murderer to win. It was me all along. Choose your investigator. Uh, uh, I mean, he looked like he dead.
Yeah.
Are there any differences between the?
Each of them has unique dialogue, and like that's the character that is you that you play as. But
Okay.
each character exists in the game beyond whether or not you're playing them. It's just they additionally become the investigator trying to solve the murder if that's the character you're playing as.
Okay. Um, I think I will go with Patricia L. Lady Tealwoods is a little bit fierce. Too fierce for me to be able to pull off, I reckon. And Lord Carter, I don't approve of the pipe, but it is what it is. After entering the great and ornate mansion, you find yourself greeted by a familiar face. Lady Harris, whose most recent claim to fame is making headlines as a murder suspect after her now ex-husband died under mysterious circumstances. Well, if it isn't my favorite local celebrity. You don't have to play nice all evening. I'll happily pick an opposite side of the house if you want. We're both adults. I'm sure we can manage. Give me a moment to collect myself and I'll join you inside. Very well. You find yourself following the other guests through the foyer into what seems to be the central bar area. I'm now looking at the alcohol on the shelf and seeing if I recognize anything. Did you model anything? I think I see Kahlua.
So a lot of the labels have been scrubbed, but some of them are so iconic that you can
Yeah,
kind of recognize them.
I can see Aperol.
There's a there's a
That's that's Aperol
an
right there.
absinthe one, center right. It's bright green.
Yeah. Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few
Well, when
others that
my
I've noticed.
I don't know if you can see my mouse on your
Yeah, yeah, I
screen, but
can.
yeah, I can see some Aperol there. I can see. Oh, that looks really familiar. And this is for me. I'm not a drinker, so I can't really tell. But anyway, the attendees seem to easily find themselves at a seat somewhere while the host stands to make an announcement speech. Evening, my guests, and welcome to my lavish home. It's new and garish, and I don't really like it. I like it already. If you're not careful, I'll bequeath it to you in my will. All right. Um, but I've not invited you all here to admire it. I've invited you all here for something else, to kill you. Um, I've been approached by a publisher to write a book, and after agonizing about what a memoir could look like, I've come up with an idea to help give me inspiration. Tonight, we're going to have a party. The doors will be locked until midnight, and food and drink will be aplenty. I've invited a wild variety of those I've met in my career and social circles, like our captain of industry, Solomon Walker, who I might find kissing my hand if it was ever left unattended. I think the worst of all of you individually, uh, I think the worst of all of you individually, you're all a great menace. There is some chuckles amongst the crowd, but altogether could only create such a fantastic chaos that would make for great writing. The host raises a glass and all follow suit. Wow, okay. To tonight, becoming a wild story either on my pages or the front pages. Few cheers echo around the large hall. I mean, that's not a Chekhov's gun right there. Before you can get a chance to think about what you do with yourself, a rakish, jewel-encrusted man corners you. Okay. Barrow Townsend. Sorry, Joey. On such an occasion as one would think there's a plenty good chance one or more people are going to get murdered. Care to set a wager on who will survive? Why not?
So this is kind of how you score points in the game. So at the moment, only one person is going to get murdered. So to get the maximum score, you have to correctly predict that one person is going to be killed and say that every other person will live.
Wait, so I'm picking who I think is gonna survive. So every single one of these people
is going to die according to what you're guessing.
Well, I'm going to survive. There's an easy guess right there, right? Right?
Yeah. If you say that you're going to die, Townsend comments on it.
I mean, wouldn't it be funny if I said that he would die?
He comments on that too. Just him. Just he's gonna die.
Yeah, the conversation is like, he has to take a wager on who's gonna die. I was like, yes, I want to look at it.
Just you, bang. Easiest money I ever made.
I mean, apparently Patricia would love Lady Harris to die, but I don't think she will. So is this like a procedurally generated thing, or like, and it's different every time, or is there a specific plot?
No, yeah, I don't know if procedural is the correct word, but it is randomized. Basically, at the start, a murderer is selected, and then you select a character, and then victim will be randomly selected, and then all of the dialogue and stuff that comes is like based around those results.
I'm seeing that this is your character here now.
It is, yeah.
I recognize the pink suit. You know, for funnies, I'm just gonna say, oh no, I want to win. I want to win.
You're basically picking one of them as a 1 in 13.
Who do I think is going to survive? Which is who's going to die? Let's just say Lady Tealwood. It's a great setup. Do I just click the X?
Yeah.
Interesting choice. In any case, I accept your wager. Wait, what did I wager? I think it's time I figure out which room I want to wander into. Until later. It's probably best to find a place where you can avoid a crowd. Well, if I hang out in the library... So if I go somewhere, I hang out with that person, I find out something about them, yeah?
Yeah. If you pick a room that doesn't have people in it, it's just a random
event?
Random person.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm already in the central bar. Wait. Ooh. I'm a little bit triggered.
About what?
How do people get out of this
Central
Bar lounge?
The floor plan's based on how the board game functions, as opposed to how the video game menu functions.
Because I'm gonna say the billiards room looks currently like a fucking safe room. There's no way in. There's no way out.
Yeah, it's a ceiling ladder.
Let's go hang out with the old dowager. I forget her name already.
Jackson.
You wander over to the billiards room and find a comfortable armchair to relax in. taking a moment to enjoy the quiet minute before the inevitable noise of the billiards table takes over. To stay for him until the building is set alight. Yeah, that's right.
True. That's if you say everyone's gonna die to Townsend, he's like, "Are you planning on setting the house on fire?"
You take notice as the highly regal Agatha Jackson enters the room. She spends a moment at the drink cart before inviting herself to join you on the couch. Slow evening, isn't it? I was expecting more fanfare, a band, serving staff, the works. I suspect Lady Tealwoods wanted it this way on purpose. After the war, I think she's been craving a quiet life. I can see that. Perhaps I should get used to a slower pace as I get older. Surely there's some interesting company here tonight to keep your interest. The guest list is surely the strangest combination I've seen in age. Hopefully, strange means fun and not dull. I can imagine like she's just reading the shit out of me at the moment. Just
Yeah.
looking at me like strange and not dull. No husband this evening? Oh, Mr. Jackson tries to avoid this kind of thing. He's not the most social, he's more of a workaholic. Do you normally travel unattended? It's become rare of late. I usually have a driver or assistant with some strong arms to help me carry things. This evening I was expecting house staff, so I didn't bother. It seems that no one's partners have come tonight. That seems suspicious. Suspiciously like Lady Tealwood's trying to manufacture some kind of infidelity scandal. Oh my. Anime, wow. Perhaps, but I think I'm too old to wind up in something like that. Age is just a number. Though I do wonder if we'll have some newly found lovebirds sneaking off at some point. Someone best keep an eye on the young Roberts. Thanks for the hydrate, Doctor. The young Roberts. As she is probably more than enough trouble to any of the men here tonight. Who's Roberts? You wander away from your companion during the pause in the conversation and take a glance at the setting sun from a nearby window. When you look back, they seem to have moved on, so you sit back down. You wander over to the billiards room and find, the last, it's honestly a 1-star rated game.
Uh, fuck. This is the guy that's
Wow,
just
the
shit
shit.
talking me in DMs the entire time we're playing League.
Yeah, no, I recognize the name. Big wow. Pikachu face. Surprise Pikachu face. The mouse said, bye, Felicia. Yep. All right. As you sit comfortable in your armchair, a man lazily dressed in green wanders in. I mean, that's more than just green.
No, greens, plural. They're like army fatigues.
Oh, green.
Yeah.
Got it. By the way, Amelphis, thank you very much for the raid. How was your stream? Solstice. Oh, what's that? Do you know Solstice? I've not seen that game before. Why is it doing this? Oh, my mouse is back. All right, Delust. I'm just gonna say one thing to you, Delust. Here in my community, we don't do that here. if you wanna be, you know, it's a new game, awesome. Delust, if you wanna be, what's a nice way of saying it? If you want to be negative, you can take that somewhere else. First and only warning, okay? Don't have anything nice to say. Keep it to yourself.
How's chat gone?
Hmm?
Oh, here it is.
Okay. Solstice is a new game. I'm gonna have to check that out later. But thank you very much for the raid. I hope you've been having a good day. What part of the world are you from, by the way? My mouse is gone again.
20th September. Yeah, it's brand new.
Malaysia. All right. So you're a couple hours behind me. Have you had dinner yet? And if so, what did you have? I might actually. I'm just going to set it back to this because the display capture clearly isn't working.
Mm.
You recognize him as Captain Hughes. His face was a major part of the war propaganda. I was about to say his face was the major part of the war. I was like, wow. To recruit new young men to fight to the fight. I love food talk as well. Tell me about your dinner. In your opinion, Cutlass, how English are these people?
Some of them are English, some of them are pseudo American. The point of a lot of the stuff that I write is it's supposed to be kind of region agnostic.
Okay.
So what you know is they are rich people. They do live somewhere that's incredibly lavish. They do speak English, and that could be any number of places, really.
Yeah. All right. I'm just trying to decide on an accent for this gentleman. Oh, but hello. Evening.
I think it's frozen because it's just stuck at man dressed in
Oh, it
green
is.
swan is in.
It is. I recognize you from all the posters. Oh, that is really annoying. Why is it doing that? Back to this. Okay, well, I don't have a mouse, but... Oh, no, I have a mouse now. Fascinating. What's been keeping you busy now that the war's over? Honestly, very little. I've secured a nice army pension for my work, which means I'm not too stressed about money, but I'm not rich by any means. I was hoping to pursue acting, but even though I've been in movies, no director takes me seriously. So it's been a struggle. You've been typecast. I mostly attend socials and try and keep up with some of the brothers in arms. My life isn't too fancy. I was surprised to be invited tonight. I feel like I'm not alone in that one. Hugh seems to realize he's ranting a little bit and pauses to finish his drink. Actually, you know what would be excellent tonight? If we started a campfire somewhere between the tree line and the estate. Well, that would be excellent if we could fucking get outside. It's not the brightest tool in the shed, is he?
No.
Brightest bulb in the...
Yeah.
Sharpest tool in the shed. Brightest bulb in the... they're based off you? Alright. And roasted some dinner for everyone. Hey, yo. That would be great if we weren't locked inside until midnight. See? It's me.
Yeah.
Perhaps a midnight snack. I'm hoping to have eaten something before then. I'd have to save that for another time. Yeah, that might be best. You hear a commotion coming from out in the hallway. What hallway? There are no hallways, it's just rooms. A voice cries out, "There's been a murder!" You head out to investigate. The would-be comfortable lounge is filled with guests hunching over the room's newest decoration. The mangled corpse of Townsend.
You should have guessed him.
I should have. I should have just trusted my heart. Oh well. I guess the wager's off. Nobody's making a bet with me anymore.
Yeah.
I guess I lose, but
Memes
I win.
if he does actually come to collect.
Well, that's a disappointment. There's been a murder, says the woman, literally brandishing a sword. And what's more, we're now locked in with the murder for another 5 hours. Alright, so where were you all when this happened? The grisly murder confirms your suspicion of why you're here. When you got the invitation to this extravagant party, you were excited to soak up as much gossip as possible. Drunk rich people always spill for a good headline. But it was when the military police contacted you about going undercover that you got really excited, knowing that you could be there to directly witness and guarantee getting the first ink dried on the story. Couldn't say no. Being a civilian, all the military police were hesitant, but in the end, they volunteered a revolver. Volunteered a revolver with one bullet, so that you could defend yourself from the murderer, or take them out if you managed to correctly identify them. I'll bet Elm is so deranged that she'd kill someone just to manufacture a drama, take the front page, slashing any chance, uh, slashing any chance of tonight being an evening without nothing to write home about. I'll have you know, I was in the billiards room, and I bet I smell like it's heavy cigar smoke. And Hughes was telling me all about. Actually, that's not important right now. Yeah, it definitely feels like we've got some more pressing things to worry about. I saw Hughes hiding in the corridor. I am allowed to avoid social contact if I wish.
Me
That
IRL.
that doesn't prove a damn thing. Then why come to the party? I'll bet Agatha Jackson put a knife in Townsend just to keep his eyes clear of her jewels. We were actually quite good friends, sometimes. Ward asked me to pose for a photo. We didn't end up getting around to it. Harris was just trying to convince me to. I'm gonna. I need a conspiracy board. I need to write notes. Clearly, this is a game where you need to write notes.
What we'll do is, when it comes to the guess, you throw out a guess and I'll throw out a guess, and we'll see which of us is correct.
Okay, but I still want.
I'm not writing notes either. It's going to be just as wild. And then we can run it back if you want to do a serious version where you do take notes and pay attention to what everything is.
All right. Harris was trying to convince me that, because the problem for me is that I don't know any of these names or people.
Yeah, that's the thing. So like, this is a good familiarization round, and then when you do actually know what you're looking for next time, it'll be easier.
Elm skulking around the corridor. I wasn't skulking. That doesn't prove anything. Roberts was just telling me about her father's latest international exploits. General Price was very patiently allowing me to pepper him with questions about the war, if the war will start up again. Can you imagine just... no, Tara, I haven't. Sorry. I got carried away with the game. I can do it now. Want me to do it now? It's Abby. Thank you very much for the follow. Okay. I should have done it when I got up to go to PD before. I completely forgot. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, this reminds me, or like, if you could imagine being an investigator in this situation and all the rich people like just like all talking at once, being like,
yeah, prattling on about some inane shit, and you're just like, look, I just want to know what room you're in. I don't care about what kind of a head scarf was the trending thing at the time, you know.
Yeah. Carter was just telling me about that one time he almost joined a cult. All these flying accusations and poor alibis have you confident you know who the murderer is. Time to take a shot and hopefully prevent any other murders.
Okay, before you click on someone, yeah, because the demo's short, it forces you to do what you would be doing at midnight instead of after 5 more hours of like 5 more victims and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
So you basically have to choose right now. Who I thought it was, a new piece of dialogue came up that proved that it wasn't that person, which is really annoying. But I'm not going to say, because I don't want to be like, so I know it's not this person, and then you go, that was my guess.
Right. Well, I know it wasn't me.
Yes.
And it probably wasn't Hughes. Or possibly wasn't Hughes. He did come in later.
No, it can't be Hughes, but it can be Jackson because she left. But you were standing with Hughes and someone was murdered. So it can't be Hughes, and it can't be you.
Well, no, I mean, I know you're telling me how the game works, but I'm also trying to thinking it could be because he could have killed someone and then come in.
And then it'd be discovered later. Yeah.
It's Abby. Hi, how you going? Um.
It's Abby. She's the killer.
Okay. Who did they just talk about then? Uh.
So Agatha
Senator Lytton.
Jackson alibied for Lord Carter,
Yep.
right? Um, so whenever you read an alibi, the person talking isn't the person being correctly alibied for; it's the person they mention in the alibi. So if that
Mm.
is a correct alibi, then it can't be Lord Carter, if that makes sense. I don't remember who Senator Lytton alibied for.
Harris.
Okay, I already know
Talking
it
about
can't be
Australian
Harris.
sheep.
That's right.
Walker was no. Helen was alibying for Roberts.
I don't remember
Uh,
half of them, honestly.
yeah, I don't remember. This is why I'm just like, I need a conspiracy board. I need
Yeah,
tape and stuff like that. And I also kind of feel like I need to be up here.
yeah, that does work a little better. Okay, I have my guess. Put in chat, quick, everyone, type in chat who you think the murderer was, if you were paying attention. Deluxe thinks it's Lord Carter. I know it's not Lord Carter because Agatha Jackson alibied for him.
Did somebody say Ward?
I
I
don't I
want to.
don't remember seeing Ward being mentioned at all or saying
No.
something at all. I don't think
I also
you've seen
no
Ward show up at all.
no. I also Lady Tealwoods. Did she say anything?
I
She
don't think
alibied
so
for somebody
either.
else. I think
Maybe.
maybe. I'm gonna say Lionel Ward.
Okay, because my guess is Lady Tealwoods.
Okay. Well, time to find out, I guess.
Oh
Take a shot in the
no!
dark.
Hand over your badge and your gun.
Oh, that's bad. And when the police drag you into a jail cell, it isn't days later till you receive a letter. It seems like
God
Lytton has
damn
gotten
it!
away with murder.
It was
Please.
me.
Yes. It was me all
It's
along.
literally me, IRL.
All right, all right.
Quick plug, am I right?
Yep. All
All
right,
right.
all right.
Are you ready to run it back and write some notes?
Uh, yeah. Let me just get.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you what kind of notes are important, or do you want to try and make notes yourself?
I think I'll figure something.
Mm-hmm.
I
Just
need.
like open a Google Doc.
You know what? We'll just make a sticky note.
Okay, there you go.
It's gonna disappear, but we'll open the sticky note.
When we need it. Okay, cool.
So we can be Barrow Townsend.
Yeah. So you just unlocked literal Satan.
Hmm. Sure. After entering the great ornate mansion, you find yourself greeted by a familiar face. General Price, someone that had been in the headlines a lot during the war for their valiant efforts. Evening, General. Evening. Sorry, I didn't see you coming up the stairs. No, I was paranoid. I stepped in something on the way. Thank you, Tara. Those dirt roads are havoc. It's true. But that's the cost we pay for to have a nice evening out away from the noise of the city. That's too true. Looking forward to relaxing with a glass tonight? That's why I'm here. My invitation promised revelry. Then let's get to it. Aha! Not that again. Hold on.
There isn't that many in this, but I put it in because I was like, okay, look, it's written by me. I have to do it.
But why him? It feels so incongruous.
It's not him specifically, it's whoever's talking to Price at the time. If that makes sense.
Right. So it's whoever. So, okay. Whichever player you have ends up having
Yeah, so there's two types of
that
dialogue.
default
There's
personality.
dialogue that's whoever you are, and then there's dialogue that's specific to the character that you are.
Okay. When it came up, I was like, haha, hold on a moment. I'm having
Having a minute.
flashbacks to the last
Yeah.
time I played one of your games. You find yourself falling down against blah 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 blah. Belongs to my lavish home. New garage, don't really like it. Bequeath to my will. Blah 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 blah. Book blah 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 blah. Inspiration party blah blah. Midnight lock blah blah. Plenty of food and drink. Lionel Ward taught himself to read minds so he can sell our thoughts for profit. Okay. That's just a rumor. He also doesn't appear on screen. I think the
No.
worst of all of you individually are all a great menace.
In this scene, it's like they're yelling from the back of the crowd while you're
Right.
looking at the host giving a speech.
Mm-hmm. Lady Tealwoods. Care to set a wager on it? Is it always him?
Yeah, he sets a wager with someone, but if you're playing as him, he corners Lady Tealwoods and he's like, "Hey, do you wanna? Who do you reckon's gonna die?"
Wow, that's sus AF.
Yeah, as I said, he's like his little Satan.
Care to set a wager on who will survive tonight? With the amount of people who are enemies you invited, there's sure to be a brawl or two. Interesting.
He's like, "Everyone, let's go."
It's me. I'm going to die. Mm, so last time I spoke to him.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he came up and talked to me, and then he died. But the first time I was Patricia Elm, and I talked to Lady Harris. But it was somebody completely left of field. Pick who you think is going to survive.
Oh yeah, we should write a note for that.
What?
Just talking to myself.
A likely story.
Oh wait, no, not that one. This one. Okay. Mind reader prof profit. It's a joke. It's like not literal.
Oh, sorry. I'll fix it. Alleged. I don't think that's how you spell alleged, but whatever.
Actually, I think it is. It looks correct to me.
I don't know. That seems wrong to me. Anyway, I'm going to say that the first person to die this time is probably going to be. Hmm. I'm gonna go with Lord Carter.
Okay.
Come on, game. She doesn't. It doesn't say who she picked, does it?
No, when you're Townsend and you approach Lady Tealwoods, it's her putting the wager on, not you.
Ah, yeah. Well, we already went to the billiards room last time. We've already spoken to Agatha before. So
We could talk to Ward for the first time.
to this lady.
No. Ward, the alleged mind reader. That's the middle one. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. Sure, why not? You wander over to the bar and pour yourself something before resting into a bar stool. You're expecting it won't take long for your quiet moment to end as other attendees are sure to join you. You see a shorter man clad in yellow nervously looking about the bar before spotting you in one corner. He awkwardly waves before fixating at something the drink cart near the door, then comes to join you. Well, before fixing himself something, not fixating. Anyway, evening. Evening. Some strange event we're having here tonight. It's almost as if people were specifically invited to hate each other. Oh, how so? Well, for a start, Lady Tealwoods and I have never gotten along, so I'm surprised to even be here. Okay.
Especially when she just like publicly dragged him in front of all the attendees.
Tealwood X Ward. Really? I'm unsure if it's an uncomfortable courtesy on her part, nor a sinister scheme. Surely, if it was a scheme, inviting an audience would be a strange course of action. Unless it's the point, unless if the point is to humiliate me, a la before. There's some scary and powerful people here tonight. I suppose that's true. Lord Carter and Senator Lytton have had a long public history of getting in each other's way. Carter and Lytton. Carter x Lytton. I'm hating this display capture thing. It's so not working. From memory, Carter was a campaign supporter from the other party and public denouncer of Lytton, and funded or encouraged protests, I think. General Price and Judge Pelham had some kind of falling out a while ago. Price x Pelham. I think that's why we have Lord Carter and not Lord Price. Despite Price and Carter having similar accomplishments and being longtime friends, that kid Roberts hates anyone in greens. Roberts X. What's his name?
Hughes.
Piers?
No, Hughes. Like Hughesy.
Hugh Hess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of military yeah. There's a lot of military types here tonight, and she's known to crier of war. She looks semi-military herself, and apparently she's also some gripes with Solomon Walker, but I've not got the inside scoop on that one. Okay, so Roberts X Walker.
Yeah, Roberts X the world.
Wow, is there anyone here who actually enjoys each other's company, or are we all just forced to be civil? And that's just all I know so far. I wouldn't be surprised if tonight brings out more grief than we expect. I wouldn't be surprised either. Care to make a wager? Maybe the best course is to sit back and watch from afar with a drink in hand. Spectacular suggestion. You wander away from your companion during a pause in the conversation and take a glance at the setting sun from a nearby window. When you look back, they seem to have moved on, so you sit back down. You wander over to the lounge and find a comfortable place to sit. Almost finding yourself lost amongst the cushions, pillows, and blankets, you nestle in somewhere and take a minute to listen to what's going on. As you sit, an older man walks into the room. You recognize him as Judge Pelham, one of the highest appointed judges in the region. One of the few who have earned the honor to wear golden robes, which, rumor tells, is from cooperating with some characters burdened with fiscal endowments. Pelham, dodgy.
They're all dodgy, man.
Corrupt? Oh, I didn't see you there. Good evening. Evening. Quite the pillar fort, this room. I'm looking for a place to enjoy a cigar. Do you mind? Of course not, actually I do. You watch as Pelham pulls out a small box and starts preparing one for himself. Care to join me? Not just yet. Thanks anyway. Pelham seems to sit and fiddle with the cigar box for some time. You attempt to make some small talk so things don't feel awkward. I must say, I can't help but notice how good you look in those fineries. Ah, you're too kind. Might be better if I had something. I'd have worn something other than work the work robes, but I do enjoy being able to show off some of my favorite pieces. It's very you. I do appreciate a man with an eye for gems. Feels so rare these days. Buy the wife a bland diamond and have no other interest in it. Oh, how poorly. I feel so bland without mine. Imagine how the average person goes through their life without enjoying with it. Imagine how the average person goes through their life enjoying being bland. Madness. Truly. I don't know. Yeah, Cutlass did. Cutlass made this. You can get it on Steam right now as a demo. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, now I remember seeing you making a headline well before you were a judge. Oh yes, I was quite ambitious when I was young. That was one of the celebrity cases, I assume. That sounds about right. Was your plan always to become a judge? Probably not. As I got older, I kept being told that that's what my retirement plan was supposed to look like. So I guess I've gotten comfortable in it. I do miss being able to pull something apart and see how it all comes together in a discussion. Nowadays, it's a bit more like examining how someone else has put it all together. Well, I can't promise any of that tonight. This is probably going to be an evening where you can shut off your brain and just have a relaxing time. No, it's not. You know that.
Shut off your
That's
brain
my
and then receive death.
yeah. Shut off your brain and just welcome oblivion. You hear a commotion from out in the hallway. A voice cries out, "There's been a murder!" You head out to investigate. Also, who found them?
It tells you. It tells you who finds the body.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
You follow the yelling and screaming into the kitchen. Who was in the kitchen? No one was in the kitchen. It was atrium billiards room. Right. You spot the lifeless corpse of Walker spread across the tiles. Walker was Robert's ex-Walker. Okay. I was gonna guess him as well. Walker has been murdered. I'm guessing Agatha found them.
Yes.
Agatha found Walker. Surely none of us are safe here. Who will protect me? Won't somebody think of the children? The murder could be any one of you. Which one of you did it? Where were you all when this happened? The grisly murder confirms your suspicion of why you're here. Last week, an invitation to a fancy event came your way. Blah, blah, blah. Networking, insinuating sales of their interests with the hopes of selling the latest rubies. Oh, you're a jewel seller.
Rare minerals trader.
Fair enough. After you obviously declined, they offered remuneration and large enough that you couldn't say no. Alright. Okay. Agreed on mine. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's where all of the gossip starts. I'm actually going to take this off the side and... Alright, so... Townsend. So, accusation. Townsend.
The person that finds the body always accuses you first.
Oh, right, so that's me.
Because you, the player, know you're not the murderer.
Right.
So we get your alibi and the person you were with out of the way first.
Got it. I'll have you know I hung about the bar trying to get my fill early on. I'll also have you know I was fancying a nice moment to recline, so I was in the lounge. Helen and I were just discussing how we might have a cigar. We've barely had the box open for a cursory sniff when the yelling started. I guess there's still time, we're locked in until midnight. I saw Tealwoods stalking about the corridor. Lytton. Accusation. I literally live here. Why would I sneak about in my own house? I wouldn't be surprised if Walker put the moves on Roberts and she put a knife in him in self-defense.
That's what you were
Okay.
saying just like 5 seconds ago.
Yep. Okay, so Walker is somewhat of a womanizer. If that was the case, I would admit to it. There would be no need for meaningless accusation amongst unsettled acquaintances. I mean, she makes a good point. She seems to be very much the type. Also, she seems very her garb seems very Piltover. Lord Carter, General Price and I were both both joking about how our funerals should be. That's dark. All right, so Carter, alibi, Price. You know, old man stuff. Didn't I say that he would die? Yeah, I did. Townsend was just telling me he was admiring my aesthetic. I most certainly did not.
Yeah, easy dub. It basically has to be Roberts. This is really funny.
Yeah.
You got all
Robert,
3 things lining up to show you that it was her instead of just one of the 3 like you normally would, which is really funny.
I mean, I did literally just say something along those lines.
Yeah.
This game is becoming sentient. I don't like it. What have you done? I saw
It gets
Roberts
the
come out
extra
the corridor.
accusation. Oh my god.
I am not one to sneak, thank you.
You
That
just
doesn't prove a damn thing.
god rolled this game. That's so funny.
Hughes was just telling me about his recently discovered tribe, whose rituals believed to make them immortal. Well, I'll just still write this stuff down. Written alibi. Hughes. Wood was hiding in the corridor. Do we even care about the accusations?
This early in the evening, they're relatively inaccurate, but because it overlaps with a piece of information we already know, so the accusation on Roberts is important.
Yep.
So it's kind of like with the accusations, it's kind of like you're looking for a 20 and you roll the dice 3 or 4 times hoping to get there, and like everything else doesn't matter. But it's like sometimes you do hit the 20.
I like how her sword just kind of disappears off into the ether.
It does,
yeah. Telling me about how a young sister engaged recently. Seems like everyone's getting married these days. Ward and I were just sharing a rumor. Didn't you just accuse him of skulking around outside?
How embarrassing.
Okay, well, we're pretty sure it was Lana Roberts.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the shot.
Yep.
You managed to corner Lana Roberts. You put it all together. She was unaccounted for far too long tonight. No one sufficiently alibied for her. No, she threw herself under the bus.
She really did.
You put a single bullet in her to keep her from getting up. Wow. You managed to save the remaining guests. You correctly predicted Lady Teal would survive. Helen would survive. Townsend.
So this is basically counting how many points you got.
Yep. You got 10 guesses correct. You must have known exactly what was going on in Tealwoods Manor. The rich heiress, Agatha Jackson. Alright, cool.
So you should get an achievement as well for your good guessing.
One just popped up there.
Yeah. That's really funny. I was like taking all these notes. I'm like, all right, we're going to super solve this game. We're going to get a really good guess in here. And then the game is just like, this is who it was. You're like, oh. Because that doesn't happen very often. With the accusations, it's a 1 in 13 chance. And then there's 2 different 1 in 13s. And then to get the correct 1 in 13 like option, because there's like an incorrect accusation and a correct accusation, If you
Yeah.
get the correct one, like it's like a 1 in 7. So it's like a 1 in 70 chance of someone outright being like, that was the person. And then on top of that, there's like a small chance of you actually getting the, oh, hey, it had to be Roberts because they had a beef with this person, which is like another 1 in 3 on top of that. So he's like rolled good every single step of the way for it to be really obvious, which is really funny.
Did I break the game? No, I didn't break the game. I won the game
Yeah,
because
he's
the
got really
game basically
lucky.
just gave me the answers. Like we're just like we were talking about like I think we were talking about Roberts as well because I think I've got an early note saying that nope, that's the wrong note. Yeah,
Yeah,
Roberts
Ward
and
tells you.
Walker. Yeah.
Ward tells you who everyone's nemesises are, and nemesises have
Nemesis.
nemesis have a 30% chance of killing their nemesis, like the person that they have the grief with.
So yeah, we just got real fortunate there with the with that.
Mm.
All right.
So what do you think?
Cool.
It's very different from my last game.
It is very different from your last game. Could you imagine a crossover?
Yeah, winning love by daylight, but like they all kill each other.
No, just make the series fighting evil by moonlight.
Yeah, it's like the center of the Venn diagram between the two games.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny.
Okay. No, it's pretty cool. And this is based on this is a companion piece to a board game, you say?
Yeah, so the video game is you are a guest, you're experiencing the murder mystery. The board game is you're an all-knowing third party that's looking back on this event in history, and you are trying to find out who the victims are because you already know who the murderer was.
Right.
So you're trying to guide the different guests to be in the different rooms to manipulate who gets killed or who doesn't get killed to score points based on who lives or dies. And so that's where the wager comes from. You're like, oh, yeah, I totally would wager that this many people survive because that's how you score points in the board game.
Okay. Interesting.
And the map that you select from the menu emulates what the board game looks like because like that's the game board, and you'll be putting character tokens on the rooms to activate room effects.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the idea was to like put out the free Steam game, introduce people to the story, have this kind of cool mystery aspect where it automatically generates it every single time. Currently, you would have to play 20 million games to encounter 2 identical ones, which is kind of wild.
That is a lot.
The game's really wide, but not very long right now. And then, yeah, at some point when the board game does come out, you get to have that overlap where you can kind of see them both together. You know, put that ad in there, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
All that exposure.
So where in your dev cycle are you for this then? Like, obviously you're in demo phase, but like
for the video game,
yeah.
Basically, we're just going to be releasing content every couple of months where the game is broken up into 6-hour slots. At the end of each hour is a conversation and then a murder, and then you have an opportunity to guess. And then if you pass on the guess, you get the extra hour. But another person dies, so your score cap lowers, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is to release each new hour every couple of months, which will add a bunch of new story stuff. It'll add different like conversational things. So like the next hour is a piece of evidence is going to be randomly found, which may or may not implicate the murderer or might like lead you off on a tangent or something like that.
Okay.
Which will be interesting. That's probably like there's no way we're going to see that even next month, probably the month after. PAX is just so big that it slows everything else down.
Yeah, of course. Like I mean, it's a huge event, PAX
It
is,
is,
so
yeah.
it makes sense that you if you're going to be attending PAX, you kind of need to like get your shit together for it,
True.
especially if you're in the industry.
Yeah. I like originally was not gonna go, and then I just got asked to do so much shit nonstop that I was like, okay, I have to be there for this, I have to be there for that, I have to go and do this thing. I'm confirmed for a panel. I've got my own booth space for the first time this year. I was supposed
Which
to be
is
doing,
pretty amazing.
I don't know, just pretty swag. And then I was supposed to be doing a demos at another booth and all this other stuff. And there's like industry meetings, and I'm like, fine, I'll go. But then like deciding that meant that I also had to make sure that the board game for this was ready to go. So this game, the video game, and the current version of the board game didn't exist a month ago. So like the 25,000 lines of code for the video game was done in 2 weeks for the Powerhouse event.
Jesus.
I don't know, which is absolutely insane. And then since then, in the 3 weeks since the Powerhouse event, I've gone and done all of the board game stuff, so the board game's ready for PAX.
Nice.
And that was also kind of crazy. So, like for this project, I've been managing 4 different artists. There's a cover art artist, which is the thing you're looking at the moment. There's a
Mhm.
different background artist. There's the artist that did all the character stuff. I did a whole bunch of graphic design. I guess I count. It's just insane. I do so much work. All I do is work.
I mean, you have to respect the hustle.
Yeah.
By the way, chat, for everyone who is in here, this is CutlassBoardgames. They are on Twitch. Go give them a follow on their socials, Instagram, which was on screen just before, and
Yeah. It's in the game. If you download the game is free. It's got all my socials and links and shit in there.
But yeah, they do a whole bunch of game dev stuff. So if you are interested in game dev, I'm sure if you swing by and just start, having a chat, or
Yeah.
you'd get a lot of this kind of like discourse.
Yeah, weirdly, I'd be like playing Valorant and someone will ask me about board game stuff and I'll be like, okay, we're doing this.
All right, nice. Well, it's nice to see that you've come out with something else
Mm,
this year as well, and like the fact that you've put such a like insane amount of work in what is like quite a short turnaround is
mm,
pretty damn impressive. Um, I know for my purposes, I mean, I don't have the skill set to do these kinds of things, but I know for my purposes, from like almost an analogous kind of point of view with like my role, trying to get like SQL reports and like other stuff like that out in a
mm.
timely fashion while also doing a whole bunch of other stuff. And like everyone just wanting a piece of your time is just like,
Yeah,
how do you find the time to even do something like this?
yeah.
So
And getting
it,
other people to do things in general is
yeah,
hard. Getting them to do things
yeah,
on time is harder.
yeah, yeah, straight up big relate. Although in my role currently, I'm probably one of those people who's like, can you please do this thing? And I'm like, I've got a bajillion other things that I need to do. So
Yeah,
you're like my prioritizing, you're currently sitting here. You need to give me a really good reason why this needs to be like a super huge priority for
yeah.
me right now. And because I'm a public servant, it's not like they can pay me extra money to do it. So I'm just like,
Oof.
you're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
uh, all right. Well, thanks for I guess letting me know
The
about.
plan B, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's good plan B. Um, but in saying that, it's almost 11 o'clock, and I think I should actually probably wrap up here because I've been
Mm.
getting to sleep at really bad times lately. So
Gross.
yeah, um, sleep schedules we don't know how.
Yeah, what is that and
Um,
how do I get one?
yeah. Apparently, you have to just like prioritize and make it like an important part of your life or something like that.
Really?
You know.
That doesn't work.
Mm.
I only go to sleep within an hour of climbing into bed if I have worked non-stop for the previous 4 hours. Pretty much. I have to be exhausted to actually go to sleep straight away.
Mm, mm. Yeah, no, what ends up usually happening for me is I will come home if I'm exhausted. I would have probably already had like a miniature nap in a manner of speaking. Like I've
Mm,
gone to work and I've been working pretty much all day. I may or may not have skipped lunch. And then you know, around about like 3 o'clock, you hit the fuzzies and then just like
yeah. I had a nap today. I was streaming. I do my regular Saturday board game stream, and we were like, okay, we finished game one. Let's go and pull out a second game, play a second game, and we played the second game. And then I was like, I need to go to sleep right this second, right now. Yeah, I was just fading, and I could just feel it the whole time.
yeah. I mean, it sometimes do be that way. Why is this? There we go. There's the tilt. Um, all right. Well, Cutlass, thank you very much for the game of wins. We need to play some more Ash and MF in the bot lane.
Yeah,
Um,
Ash support was
because
good.
look, I'm actually keen to, I guess, develop the Ash because I mean I know Ash top lane is also a thing,
Mm,
um, but it's a little bit less safe because you don't have like you have low mobility and top lane is just like a hyper mobility kind of
mm,
dealio at the moment,
true. That is
which I
true.
don't love. But Ash top is a thing that could work, and I'm getting reasonably good at arrows. I reckon
Mm,
maybe so. Yeah, we'll have to do this again, but I
hell yeah,
will catch you on the flip side.
definitely.
All right.